Leaders saying, how do we reverse obesity? How do we cure obesity? They're not asking that. They're saying, how can we actually say obesity is not your fault? Oprah, who's involved with Weight Watchers, just apologized for preaching personal accountability over the past decades. She said it's not personal accountability. We're supporting Ozempic. This is becoming, obesity is becoming something.
Do you think Oprah got paid?
She's highly involved with Weight Watchers. Yeah, Weight Watchers has shifted from a personal accountability organization that it's been preaching for decades and is now a prescriber of Ozempic. They've totally changed because Ozempic is a better business model because you never go off it.
This is insane.
Well, it looks like Oprah picked the wrong day to be iconic. Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly just teamed up to tear down her legacy, turning decades of inspiration into dust. Tucker brought his trademark smirk, Megyn wielded her verbal scalpel, and together they dismantled Oprah's empire like it was propped up by self-help cliches and diet book slogans. One moment, she's the queen of empowerment. The next, she's dodging jabs like stray yoga mats. So what exactly did they say that rattled the queen of the couch? Oh, it's savagely satisfying.
Now that that bill has gone and hasn't passed, will you reintroduce that?
Absolutely, and when I am elected president of the United States, I will make sure that bill gets to my desk and I will sign it into law.
We already knew that, Oprah. She said that at the debate. Oprah is no longer in the business of staying up on the news. I bet she didn't even watch the damn debate. She's reading undoubtedly from blue cards her staff gave her. That's how the Oprah Winfrey show was shot. Oprah didn't have to think of her own questions. I know. I've spoken with her executive producers over the years, all of them. And
picture this. Oprah Winfrey, once America's beloved queen of feel-good wisdom, now standing under studio lights, gripping a microphone like she's selling fresh air. But this time, she's not delivering soul talk. She's moderating a political event. And not just any event, a campaign rally disguised as a billion-dollar TED Talk. The real headline? It's not just the spectacle, it's the seven-figure payday behind it. That's right, Oprah just turned journalism into a lucrative side hustle.
Because rap music attacks women. I know the feeling. When I had a son, I stopped watching Oprah because it was just too anti-male, and I felt like I didn't want to bring him up in a home where Oprah was constantly attacking men, and it's really helped.
Sure. So let's get this straight. Oprah reportedly took $1 million, maybe more, to moderate a Kamala Harris town hall. But instead of asking hard-hitting questions, she handed Harris a perfectly polished platform, complete with influencer-style studios and celebrity applause. It wasn't journalism, it was a product launch, showcasing features, benefits, and glowing endorsements straight from Hollywood's A-list.
when was the last time Oprah actually spent time hanging out with a working class person in America? She's on her Montecito estate with one of the most beautiful mansions known to man. And that is why she did not follow up with Kamala Harris in response to that stupid gun question with, well, you're on camera saying that you favor mandatory gun buybacks. So how would that work? The Oprah enthusiasm worked when it was genuine. When she first hit the scene in like the 1980s and she was fresh out of Chicago, she was in Chicago for the launch of her national talk show. She was something electric and interesting and authentic, you know? I miss fat Oprah. She was just genuine. Now this thin Ozempic Oprah has lost, along with the pounds, her heart, her sense of authenticity. And what we're getting these days is this cleansed, elite, billionaire version who wants to scrub the record of...
Megyn Kelly didn't bother hiding how ridiculous she thought the whole thing was. She called it staged and forced, like watching someone shift from a warm, relatable host to a Broadway actress who forgot her lines mid-scene. Oprah's facial expressions practically had their own screenplay. The deep sighs, the gentle gasps, the perfectly timed close-ups. Authentic? Not quite. It was performance art in the costume of journalism.
Harris in the news this week for, among other reasons, having run her billion-dollar campaign down to the studs when it comes to her cash. She's reportedly $20 million in debt. We told you the story the other day. Well, now the reports are that she blew the vast majority of that last $20 million on stars. Now, so far, we've only had one star deny receiving a direct payment, and that person is Oprah Winfrey. The reporting is, and we've seen the verification via various publications, that Harpo Productions, her production company, was paid $1 million for that farce of a town hall that Oprah put on. What a joke. So Oprah's production company got $1 million to put that thing on.
Then there's the Ozempic transformation saga. Millions watched Oprah slim down, but according to Megyn Kelly, and I'm quoting here, she looks empty, like she traded joy for a trend in the mirror. Kelly didn't call her thin as praise, but as a warning. Lose 50 pounds, lose your soul. Ouch. She basically framed Ozempic as a joy-draining scam. But here's the irony. Oprah's entire brand is built on transformation and reinvention. Lose weight, gain followers, boost marketability. So in this case, shedding pounds feels more like shedding the last few attendees at your personal pity party.
Oprah Winfrey, she's worth $3 billion. She's up there talking about all the racism she encountered.
But okay, so Oprah Winfrey is American, but Kamala Harris, Jamaicans are not Americans, A. B, not oppressed in any sense. They're actually very successful in the United States. Caribbeans in general, I think, make more than native-born whites. They're successful, they're entrepreneurial. They're not part of the history of racism and slavery in the United States, just the opposite. They just showed up here. So, like, this is ridiculous.
Meanwhile, Tucker Carlson shredded the whole spectacle, calling it a political circus disguised as civic engagement. It was basically a press release, he jabbed. Think about it. Oprah pockets a fat paycheck. The campaign gets free promo, Hollywood stars get camera time. And America? America gets a town hall with no real questions. No follow-ups on inflation, the border, or anything that matters. Just applause, no accountability. If that's progress, imagine the backlash. But wait, it gets glitzier. Oprah didn't just show up with a mic, she brought the celebrity cavalry. Meryl Streep leaned in like she was about to rewrite foreign policy. Julia Roberts nodded with the gravitas of a seasoned senator. Chris Rock popped in too, still unclear what the punchline was. The whole thing looked more like an awards show than a serious political forum. Megyn Kelly summed it up as the peak of Oprah's journalistic downfall. Harsh? Yes. Undeserved? Maybe not. And here's the kicker. Nobody questioned why Oprah thought a $1 million payday for moderator duty was fair game. That's career-making money. If any lesser-known commentator did the same, they'd be crucified. But Oprah? She slips by like an amnesiac ninja. All influence, zero consequences.
Her schoolgirl affectations and body movements. Like, okay, ready? Here it is. Like, okay. She raises herself off her chair. Like, I'm just really excited. I'm really excited about this. Okay.
You're so right.
Okay.
Oh, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something you haven't heard yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to blow your mind.
Okay. Right, like that.
Right.
Let's talk about the hypocrisy. Oprah built her empire on empowerment, critical thinking, and self-reflection. Yet here she is, acting like a high-paid PR rep, echoing campaign talking points instead of challenging them. If anyone else pulled this, say, someone not named Oprah, they'd be dragged by the media like Rupert Murdoch staging Fox News from behind the curtain. But because it's Oprah, all we get is respectful silence and polite applause. She's not just lending her platform, she's weaponizing her credibility. Megyn Kelly put it bluntly. Oprah no longer feels grounded or relatable. She called her elitist and out of touch, like she traded her front porch for a penthouse in the clouds. And she's not wrong. When your event costs more than a developing nation's GDP, it's safe to say you're no longer speaking to the everyday person. Yes, Oprah came from humble beginnings, but now she lives in such rarefied air that breathing regular people oxygen might pose a health risk. And let's not forget the weight loss narrative. Megyn Kelly framed it perfectly. When Oprah shed the pounds, she also seemed to shed something deeper, her soul, her warmth. The irony? Reinvention is what Oprah does. She's endured boring formats, public criticism, and cultural shifts. But this reinvention, it's different. It's televised, monetized, and rewarded with applause from the elite. No surprise, then, that the narrative got flipped into a spectacle. Picture this. You tune in expecting a serious political forum, and instead, it feels like a Netflix teaser. Flawless lighting, soft focus lenses, and staged applause cues drown out any real policy. The only questions asked? Did you feel that? Or did you like that? Definitely not the Senate-level discourse we were hoping for.
Let me tell you something, people. This is yet another piece of evidence that Oprah Winfrey is fake news. News people do not require the campaign to pay us so we can interview them. I did a town hall of sorts in this election when I sat down with the Tim Walz Stolen Valor former colleagues. Do you think I charged them to set up the No, I didn't. Megyn Kelly paid for it. The Megyn Kelly show.
Let's be honest, Oprah's alliances say it all. Surrounding herself with pampered celebrities and carefully curated intellectuals doesn't scream truth seeker, it screams echo chamber. Everything is temperature controlled, fragrance optimized, and opinion proof. There's no diversity of thought, just the ideological version of a gated community with valet parking. Her storytelling once felt raw, human, magnetic. Now it's as polished as an award show tribute reel, predictable, rehearsed, and eerily risk-free. Honestly, you could swap her out with a hologram and no one would notice. If AI ever gains sentience, it might sue Oprah for stealing its job. Perfectly neutral, emotionally engineered, and flawlessly detached. As for that every woman persona, long gone. Oprah isn't one of us. She's the one the staff calls Ms. Winfrey while clearing the aisle. When your dog's birthday party costs more than the average family car, you're not grounded. You're floating somewhere between private jets and a skincare line. And don't be fooled, Oprah isn't clueless. She knows exactly how much power she holds. That's what makes it worse. This isn't naivete, it's strategy. Harsh? Maybe. But consider this a wake-up call, not a cancellation. She's not the villain, but she's playing the part better than most politicians. And let's be real, at least politicians pretend they're not auditioning for daytime TV. Oprah's not breaking the system. She is the system.